The Galactic Council had grown complacent. For 3,000 cycles, peace had blanketed the 17 species that comprised the known universe. Wars were relics of primitive history, discussed only in academic circles and ancient texts. The Council's headquarters on Nexus Prime gleamed with crystalline towers that reached toward the stars, a monument to cooperation and enlightened civilization. Fiza stood at the observation deck of the Council's main chamber, her dark eyes reflecting the swirling nebula beyond the transparent walls. As humanity's first ambassador to the Galactic Council, she carried the weight of her entire species on her shoulders. Earth had been discovered only 5 years ago by a Veltorian scout ship, and the Council had grudgingly extended an invitation to the young civilization. "They still see us as children," Fiza muttered, adjusting the silver diplomatic sash across her uniform. Behind her, the Council members gathered in their designated sectors, their bioluminescent skin, crystalline forms, and gaseous bodies creating a mesmerizing display of diversity. The session began with its usual bureaucratic monotony: trade agreements, resource allocations, cultural exchange programs, all matters handled with the efficiency of a civilization that had forgotten the meaning of urgency. Then came the report that changed everything. "Esteemed Council," announced Thexler, the Krynith representative, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "We have detected unauthorized jump signatures in the outer reach. The Zathari have returned." The chamber fell silent. Even the gaseous ethereals ceased their perpetual swirling. Fiza's blood ran cold. She had read the classified files about the Zoo. They were the reason the Galactic Council had been formed, a hive-mind species of unparalleled aggression that had been driven to the edge of the galaxy 1,500 cycles ago. Their defeat had cost billions of lives and had required the combined might of all 17 species. "Impossible," whispered Chancellor Volmitz, the Council's leader. "The barrier stations would have detected them." "The barrier stations are destroyed," Thexler replied grimly. "All 47 of them simultaneously." Panic rippled through the chamber. Representatives began speaking over each other, their translators creating a cacophony of fear. The galaxy had dismantled most of its military forces centuries ago. The few remaining defense fleets were ceremonial at best, maintained more for tradition than any practical purpose. Fiza activated her comlink, her fingers trembling slightly. "Ambassador Fiza to Earth Command. Priority Alpha, command receiving," came the calm voice of Admiral Stein, humanity's chief of naval operations. Even through the quantum connection, his presence felt steady, unshakable. "Admiral, the Zathari have returned. The Council is in chaos. They have no military response capability." There was a pause. Fiza could imagine Stein in Earth's orbital command station, his steel-gray eyes analyzing tactical displays, his mind already 3 steps ahead of any threat. "How long until they reach Nexus Prime?" Stein asked. "Estimates suggest 72 hours. We'll be there in 48. The Council had forbidden Earth from building warships. It was a condition of humanity's admission. The Council had deemed humans too aggressive, too militaristic. But what the Council didn't know was that humanity had never stopped preparing for the wars that others had forgotten. 40-7 hours later, the Zathari emerged from hyperspace like a plague of locusts. Their bioships were living nightmares, all teeth and tentacles and malice. 10,000 vessels, each one capable of consuming entire worlds. The Council's ceremonial defense fleet launched to meet them and was obliterated in minutes. Fiza stood in the Council chamber, watching the holographic display with horror. Nexus Prime had perhaps an hour before the swarm arrived. Evacuation was impossible. The Zathori moved too fast, and there was nowhere to run. Then the sensors detected something new. A single ship emerged from hyperspace between the Zathari swarm and Nexus Prime. It was massive, dwarfing even the largest Zathari by. Its hull was the color of midnight, adorned with Earth's insignia, blue marble suspended in the void. "What is that?" Chancellor Volmitz demanded. Fiza allowed herself a small smile. "That is the Ars Reckoning, Admiral Stein's flagship, one ship." Thexler's voice was incredulous. "Against 10,000? The Reckoning opened fire. What happened next would be recorded in galactic history for millennia. The human warship unleashed weapons that the Council had never imagined. Railguns that fired projectiles at relativistic speeds, turning Zathari bioships into clouds of organic matter. Fusion missiles that turned space into miniature suns. Point defense systems that created impenetrable walls of fire. But it was the Reckoning's primary weapon that truly shocked the galaxy. The Nova Cannon, a weapon that harnessed the power of controlled antimatter annihilation. When it fired, a beam of pure destruction carved through the Zathari formation. vaporizing hundreds of ships in an instant. Inside the Reckoning's bridge, Admiral Stein stood with military precision, his crew working with practiced efficiency around him. He was 53 years old, with close-cropped gray hair and a face that had seen countless battles. While the galaxy had slept in peace, humanity had remembered that the universe was not a gentle place. "Target the command clusters," Stein ordered, his voice calm. "Show them why Earth still remembers how to fight." The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the Zatheri swarm was scattered, their invasion broken. The survivors fled back into the darkness from which they had emerged. The Reckoning hung in space, scarred but unbroken, a dark angel that had saved a complacent civilization from extinction. Fiz returned to the council chamber the next day. The representatives looked at her differently now, with respect, yes, but also with fear and shame. "You lied to us," Chancellor Volmid said quietly. "You built warships when we forbade it." Fizza met his gaze steadily. "We built them because we knew this day would come. While you forgot the lessons of survival, humanity remembered. We've seen too much of our own history to believe peace is anything but a temporary condition. And now," Vexler asked, "what will Earth do with such power?" Admiral Stein's voice echoed through the chamber's speakers, transmitted from the Reckoning. "We will do what we've always done, Council. We will stand guard while others sleep. We will remember the cost of freedom while others enjoy its benefits. And when darkness comes again, as it always does, humanity will be ready." The galaxy had let down its guard, but Earth never would.